What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the best chemistries and abilities in Madden Ultimate Team, how to use these to get the most out of your team, and how to save yourself from wasting coins or training to acquire the wrong ones. I'm going to tell you exactly which ones you need, which ones are going to provide the most bang for your buck, the ones that actually are game changing, and the ones that you just completely want to stay away from. A lot of new people are getting the game for Christmas. There's a lot of new people jumping into Ultimate Team for the first time. There's a lot that's new about Ultimate Team this year. We have training points now, which is what we use to acquire chemistries and special abilities. Certain players can't get abilities, you know, they have to meet certain ratings thresholds to get abilities. So I'm going to kind of just cover, since you're new getting into this game, and maybe if you've been playing all year and you're just not really sure, I'm going to tell you what you need, what to avoid, what's going to help your team the most, so that you spend as least amount of your in-game currency as possible. You don't ever want to waste your money. A lot of us have, wasted money, or, our in-game currency trying some of these chemistries and abilities to find out that they're not really doing much for us. And this is something that not even I've just gone over myself. These are things that, I've talked with tons of other MUT guys this year that are, way more knowledgeable about MUT than me. I'm always, kind of picking their brain. What do you think about this ability? What do you think about this chemistry? What would you say are the best ones? And, some really good trusted guys out there like CC, Texas Boy, and people like that. They've definitely helped me along the way, and I've experimented with them for a while, so now I think I have a really good idea of, what you guys should use. So we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. So we're going to open up here. We're just going to go to the screen here so we can show you. So chemistry abilities. You can see here on BREES, I have Go Deep on him. Now, there are quite a few different offensive chemistries you can do. You can have balanced offense, which is free. So if you're not looking to spend money or in-game currency, then you can put balanced O on your entire team, because it is free. So if you want to go that route, nothing wrong with that. It's not the best route to go, but there's nothing wrong with it. And you can see balanced O, it is what it is. It gives you, it balances your complete offense. It doesn't boost any, specific ratings to the roof. It just gives you a +1 in pretty much everything. You have to put it, as you can see, if you put this on 5 players, that means those 5 players will get a boost to their catch, their carry, and their impact block. If you put it on 10 players, then the 10 players will get those previous 3, and they'll also get juke, short accuracy, play action, and so on and so forth. You have to put it on so many players for it to activate. You can put it up to 30 players. Then you got power run. Even if you're a guy that likes to run the ball a lot, this is not the best one to use. This is one I would stay away from. You have play fake, another one that I typically stay away from. This isn't something that, it's really not the best bang for your buck. Then you have West Coast. West Coast is okay. West Coast, if you're a heavy passer, West Coast is something you can consider. This is going to help you more so in the short passing area, catching traffic, short route running, catch, things like that. And you can see, unlike balanced O, these are pretty much going to give you a +1 to 6 different ratings. And you have tier 1, tier 2, then once you go to tier 3, you can see tier 3 is the same as tier 1. So then, instead of getting a +1 to your catch, you would get a +2. And then if you go all the way down here, you can see you'll get a +3 to pretty much every rating on here if you get all 30. Now the 2 best ones to use, and I think most people would agree with this, are Go Deep, which is what I have equipped, and Zone Run. Now Go Deep, I have tiers 1 through 5. I don't have all 30 players. I have like 25 players, which is fine. This is good because it gives you very important accuracy boost, or excuse me, ratings boost. It gives you throw power, which is very big in this game. So if you have a QB that's not the strongest arm, you can +3 his throw power, and now all of a sudden that's a huge difference. You get 3, you can get up to 3 deep route run, which is huge, and also deep accuracy, which is huge. So if your guy is like an 87 deep pass, and you need to get him to 90 to meet that threshold, you can get 3 deep accuracy that gets you up to a 90, you meet the threshold, and then it gives you deep route running and spectacular catch on your receivers. The main things here are for sure the throw power, the deep accuracy, and the deep route run. So Go Deep if you're a passer, something you want to use. I also have Zone Run up to tier 5. We'll back out here and I'll show you. Because Zone Run, what you're going to want to do is typically put that on your offensive line and your running backs. Why? Zone Run gives you some very important things for the run game, and we're going to show you that here. So you can see on the zone run, I have tiers 1 through 5. It boosts your carrying, which is good. That means less fumbles. The big one here is it boosts your spin move and your juke move. The spins and the jukes are very, very overpowered this year, so you want to boost your jukes and your spins. Always. This can help guys that don't meet the spin threshold, which is 88, and the juke threshold, which is 88, can help them meet that threshold. And even if they're under that threshold, you can still spin very well because the spin is good this year, and the juke is good as well, but you want it to be as high as possible. This also helps boost your run block, which is huge for the offensive line. So the way I try to do it with my team is I put go deep, of course, on the QB, and I put it on the majority of my wide receivers and tight ends. I put the zone run on my offensive linemen and even the backup offensive linemen. Now, some of them might have go deep just because I just have to, whatever way I can have it all add up correctly for me is how I had to do it. But your starting O-line, you want these guys to have zone run because it's going to boost their run block. You want your running backs to have it because it's going to boost their carry, their juke, and their spin. And you want your wide receivers, your QBs, and your tight ends to have go deep because it's going to boost their deep route running, their spectacular catch, their throw power. Now, here's where I throw something in. I put zone run on Tyreek Hill. Why? Because he had like an 86 or 87 spin move. I wanted him to get to 88 to meet the threshold. So for him, I put zone run on him because for me, him meeting the spin threshold was more important than him getting a little bit extra deep route run. So those are the two chemistries you want to focus with on offense. Now let's get into the offensive abilities. This is the big thing. So for QBs, for me, there's only one thing to put on a QB, and that's conductor. That's it for me. Gunslinger in theory is a good ability, but Gunslinger is kind of glitched out, and a lot of times your QB will just throw the ball into the offensive lineman because they sling the ball out so fast. It's not worth it. You want Conductor because what Conductor does is it allows you to make 2 hot routes at a time rather than just 1 hot route at a time, and that is honestly huge because it gets you to set your plays up quicker. You can set a lot of plays up before you get to the line of scrimmage. Also, in MUT, you have a 30-second play clock, not a 40-second play clock, so getting those extra hot routes in are important. For me, when it comes to QB, I don't even think about anything else but Conductor. That's it. Now we're going to go to running backs, because for running backs, there's a lot of abilities, and there's some really good ones here. So, you can see on Ricky, I have Truck Specialist. This means he's going to truck people the majority of the time. It's going to be very hard to tackle him. But you see all these other ones we have. We have Energize, Never Stumble, Return Man. You don't ever want to use that. We have Route Specialist, which means you can change some of his hot routes. Now, a couple I want to look at here is Juke Move Specialist and Spin Move Specialist. They're cheap, not worth it to put on your guys. Why? Because if your guy meets the spin and juke threshold, he's going to fake guys out no matter what. This isn't really going to help you fake guys out any better than you can, you know, just regularly, because the spin and the jukes, especially the spin is ridiculous. It's overpowered like you wouldn't believe. So there's no point to put this on your guy because he's going to spin guys out anyway. I have Truck Specialist on Ricky because I already know I can spin, I can juke. This is like the last piece of the puzzle. I want to be able, because in some situations, certain angles, you can't really spin or juke. You're better off going for the truck, and I want to make sure that I truck through and fall forward. Now, there are some other good ones. If you don't have Truck Specialist, not every guy can get Truck Specialist. You have to have a 90 truck rating to get this. Energize and Never Stumble are both very good. You can see I own Never Stumble because I used to have this on Ricky before he was able to get Truck Specialist. Never Stumble is very good, especially on inside runs, because if your guy gets tripped up, he's gonna recover the stumble on his own. But what's glitchy about this is when he goes into the Never Stumble animation, he can't really get tackled. So if you're running like an inside run and he gets tripped up over his offensive line, instead of just falling down for 1 yard, he's gonna recover, and you're not going to be able to tackle him until he's finished the animation. He's going to get like an automatic 3 to 4 yards just off that. So that's a really good one to have, and it's very cheap. The other one that's really good is Energize. What this does is it refills your stamina after you pull off a successful move, which is huge this year because, like I said, the jukes and the spins are overpowered. So when you hit a spin move on somebody or a juke and you fake them out and you have Energizer, it temporarily refills your stamina instead of you taking... Normally when you spin and juke, you take a hit to your stamina and it'll slow you down. With Energizer, when you pull off a successful spin or a juke, your stamina temporarily refills. So that means there's a better chance for you, if you make one guy miss, there's a better chance of you breaking that for a touchdown than just getting ran down. So Energizer, Never Stumble, and Truck Specialist are the 3 that you want to focus on for running backs. All are very good. Now let's get to wide receiver. For me, honestly, when it comes to wide receiver, it's always going to be Playmaker. Playmaker is a very overpowered ability. It just quite simply is. It's a very overpowered ability, and basically what this is you put a guy on a drag, you can flick your right stick up and he'll just immediately cut up the field. Very hard to defend. I honestly wouldn't put anything else on my wide receiver other than playmaker. I usually put it on all my receivers. I don't have it on all my guys right now, but that's something you definitely want to do. They also have route specialists, which a lot of people like these. Me personally, not the hugest fan of these. What this does is it gives you different hot routes. So like, you can get a post hot route or a corner hot route or a deep cross, and those are cool. The only reason I don't like it is because there's not a MUT practice mode, so you can't really practice your offense with it. You have to put it on your guy, kind of go into the games on the fly and get a feel for how to use it. So they're not bad to use. They're definitely something you can use. Me personally, I just stick to playmaker. That's what I do. But the route specialists are fine. Just understand that you're going to have to go through some trial and error with those guys. Same thing for tight ends. I usually don't put abilities on tight ends, but if I did, I would put playmaker on him, because if I got a guy on a drag, I could playmaker him up the field. Pretty easy. Now, offensive linemen, you've got some good ones for offensive linemen as well. So we'll jump in here and look. Secure pass blocker. The verdict's kind of still out on whether or not this really works that great or not. I find that it gives me more time in the pocket. So what I usually do is I always put secure pass blocker on my tackles. I don't usually put it on my inside guys. You can do that, but I typically put it on my tackles because that's where the instant block sheds typically happen. And with secure pass blocker, it's supposed to prevent like an instant block shed from happening. They can still get block shed, but they have to actually engage and make a move first. They can't just win off the line instantly. So you can see both my tackles have secure pass blocker. On guards, you can put lead the way if they qualify for that. What lead the way does is basically on pull-out blocks, so like a pitch play where they're running out wide, or like a halfback wham where they're pulling, they're pretty much going to always secure the block and lay the guy out in front of them. They're going to lead the way for you. That is a very good chemistry ability to have. It's not necessary, it's not needed, but if you're going to put anything on your guards, I would put lead the way on them. And then on my center, I just got identified. Basically what identified is it lets you see who your opponent's using. It's a very, very good chemistry ability. I typically put that on my center. You want to put that on one of your linemen. I feel like the center is typically the best guy to put it on because, like I said, you want secure pass blocker on your tackles. You, if anything, want lead the way on your guards because those are the guys that pull on those type of run plays typically. So for the center, you put identified on them because that's going to let you see who the guys are using on defense, and that's really an underrated thing. Okay, that was a bit long-winded. Let's jump to defense. We'll try to speed up defense a little bit so we don't make this video too much longer. Defense. Secondary, you put lockdown on everybody, and I mean everybody. You can see I have my lockdown maxed out. What does lockdown maxed out do? It gives you +3 catch, +3 play rec, +3 man, +3 zone. That is huge because especially when you have some of these bigger name cornerbacks like a Deion Sanders right here, you're going to see I'm going to pull him up. Because I have lockdown maxed out, he's got 99 man and he's got 99 zone. You can't achieve that without lockdown. When you get 99 man and 99 zone, that is just out of this world good. 99 zone plays like 91 zone did last year. It jumps routes very good. 99 man is going to be the best man coverage you can get. It's going to play man a lot tighter than anything under that. You put lockdown on your secondary, your safeties, your cornerbacks, and even some of your good linebackers, like your cover linebackers. So you see here like Shazier, DeMario Davis, Roquan Smith. Those are all good coverage linebackers, speedy guys. I want lockdown on them. Why? Because I want their zone coverage up. If you look here, you'll see that my Shazier has 91 zone coverage. That's really good for a linebacker. That's insanely good for a linebacker. You'll see here DeMario Davis is going to have 85 zone coverage. Not amazing, but that's pretty good. So you put lockdown on those guys. Your pass rushers, you put pass rush on them. And like I said, you put this on your guys and your backups too, because that's what helps you get your chemistries up. These guys aren't going to see the field, but they can still help boost your chemistries. Why would you put pass rush on your guys? Well, let's talk about pass rush. So there's a lot for defense. You got lockdown, you got pass rush, you got run stuff, you got balance D. Again, balance D is free, so if you're not really trying to spend money, if you don't have a lot to spend, then sure, put balance D on your guys. It's going to give you balance stuff all over the place. Run stuff is cool, but the main two things that you get out of run stuff is you get block shed and hit power. Hit power this year just isn't as important as it has been in last years because fumbles don't happen nearly as much. It's also very hard to hit stick this year because the spin move is so good. It's very hard to hit stick a spin. and everybody is spinning as soon as they touch the ball. So it's really hard to land hit sticks, and the fumbles aren't nearly as crazy as they've been in years past. So hit power doesn't do much for you, and block shed is good, but I don't think it makes nearly as big as a difference as the pass rush moves do. And this is what pass rush gives you. It gives you 3 pursuit, it gives you 3 press, which isn't really as important because we're putting it mostly on pass rushers, but it gives you +3 power move and +3 finesse, and that is where you really win. That's where you get off the ball quick in pass situations. You'll see here, my Cam Jordan, he's got 97 power move. That's pretty good. And there's guys that can get 99. I just don't have those guys on my team yet. You'll see here, Sheldon Rankin, 97 power move because I have the pass rush maxed out. So on defense, you want to go lockdown on your secondary and some of your linebackers that are going to be in coverage. On everybody else, you want to go pass rush. Your linemen, your backup linebackers, your other linebackers that won't see the field as much. You know, even some of your backup safeties, maybe if you're not going to use them, put pass rush on them. Whatever you have to do to get it up. Now let's talk about abilities, because there's a lot of abilities on defense that aren't really that good. They look good, they sound good, but they're not good. On the defensive line, for me, on my pass rushers, my outside pass rushers guys, I like situational pass rusher. What this does is it gives them like kind of a boost on 3rd and 4th and long situations. They get instant sheds a lot quicker. I find that it works very well. That's what I like to put on my outside guys. If you can't get that, secure tackler is okay. Especially now because trucking is becoming a bigger thing. Secure tackler definitely does help, you know, put them down right away. But the thing is, it doesn't really help them get around spins and jukes. And you would say, okay, well, unfakeable would help you not get faked out. Honestly, unfakeable doesn't work nearly as good this year. You can still spin and juke unfakeable very well. Jump the snap, not really something you want to use. It's just not that good. Out my way is extremely good, but I don't like putting this on most of my defensive line. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, situational pass rusher, definitely on your pass rushing guys. Now, here you'll see I have out my way on my defensive tackle. Now, he can get situational pass rusher, and I wanted to give him that. But the reason I put out my way on my D tackle is because the halfback wham has made a comeback. And if you put out my way, basically what this does is it blows up impact blocks. So you want this on linebackers and you want this on your defensive tackles, because if they run a halfback wham on you, he's going to blow up the wham block and it's going to be very hard to run the wham. So I definitely suggest if you can put out my way on a defensive tackle, you do so. And then going up to linebackers, you'll see I have out my way here on DeMario Davis, because again, at the second level, someone tries to impact block him, he's going to blow that up. Like, out my way, they literally throw the blockers out of their way. It's absolutely ridiculous. Footsteps sounds very good. It says if you're close to a player, they have a chance to drop the ball because they hear footsteps. There's like no evidence of this working. I don't believe that it works. I would stay away from it. Again, unfakeable can still get faked out. Jump the snap, you don't want that. Hot hands is good if you're going to user a guy. If you're going to user a guy, put hot hands on him, and it's very cheap. Tip drill, we'll get to that in a minute. And again, secure tackler is good as well. But if I can get out my way on a linebacker, I'm putting out my way on everybody that can get it in the front 7 outside of my defensive ends that pass rush. Because they literally throw people out of the way. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so hard to block those guys. But if you can't get out my way on a linebacker, then I would say you either go tip drill or secure tackler. Secure tackler because they're not really going to get trucked. Tip drill, when the ball's up in the air, trip drill is probably the best red chemistry in the game. If any ball is tipped, it is an automatic pick if you get your hands on it. It's an automatic pick. So if you want to put that on a linebacker, nothing wrong with that as well, but definitely go out my way. Now, we're going to go to Shazier really quickly, and you'll see that I have hot hands on Shazier. Why do I have hot hands on Shazier? Because I user him every play. Hot hands is glitchy. You'll pretty much never drop a pick when you're usering a guy with hot hands. If that ball comes to you, even if you time it wrong, you're probably still picking it off. Very glitchy. They get really glitchy animations with it. Crazy ball hawk animations. So I would always suggest putting hot hands on the guy that you're going to user cover at linebacker. Your other guy, like I said, you put out my way on him. Tip drill or secure tackler. Now we get to the secondary and literally put tip drill on everybody. Put tip drill on everybody. It is the best chemistry in the game, in my opinion, and I think many people would agree. If any ball is tipped, I don't care if they got to scoop it off the ground. I don't care if they have to jump in the air for it. I don't care if they have to one-hand grab it on the sideline. If it is a tip ball and your guy gets near it, he is picking it off every single time. Sometimes tip drill will even activate when it's not a tip pass sometimes, when it's just a regular pass, and he'll pick it off. It's the glitchiest thing ever. If you can't get tip drill, then get pick specialist. Pick specialist definitely gets glitchy too. You pretty much won't drop a pick with pick specialist for the most part that I've seen, but these are the two you want to stick to. Pick 6, you don't want to do that. It just gives you stamina on a pick 6. You don't need that. Never stumble. Never stumble is honestly not the worst thing in the world, because usually when you pick the ball off, you will stumble. But if you get good at user recovering on that, you don't need it. Put tip drill on everybody. If you can't get tip drill and you can get pick specialist, then you go with that. You put that on your safeties, your cornerbacks, every last one of them. Nothing else matters. So that's it. A little bit longer of a video than I wanted to be, but I really wanted to make sure I got, you know, everything across to you guys. Those are the best chemistries and the best, you know, special abilities in the game. Don't waste your time with anything else. A lot of people have put in the work, you know, myself and other guys. These are cut and dry the best that you can put on your players. Save yourself the time and money, and just believe and trust in what I'm telling you. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, as always, just remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.